everybody? Welcome to another episode of Van City Beats, Eats,
and More.
My name is Kazi, and on the show today, I am so stoked to be joined by Chua, aka Changeling. I am really excited for this episode because I'm with one of my new, very colorful friends. Chloe, can you please introduce yourself to our community and let us know who you are and how you like to express yourself in the world?
Sure. My name's Chloe. I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I am originally from Toronto, but moved to Vancouver about 8 years ago. And yeah, I've just been on a journey of art and self-expression ever since. My primary focus is textiles with costume design, upcycle clothing. I also like to make different installations and stuff like that. But I'm also a performance artist. I do circus arts and different types of incorporating my costuming within my practice, and yeah, kind of all over the place.
Yes. Well, like you mentioned, you're originally from Toronto. Can you tell us a bit about your upbringing and how creativity and art became part of your life?
Yeah. So I actually grew up in the Philippines for the first 6 years of my life. My dad is Chinese-Filipino.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love this because I'm Filipino.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was born in Manila.
What?
Yeah.
My whole dad's family is in Manila.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And yeah, Phil Chai is a real thing. So, okay, go back. Your dad is Chinese-Filipino?
Yeah. So I grew up in the Philippines, in Manila, for the first 6 years of my life. And then I moved to Toronto, where I was actually born.
Okay.
My family had established roots there already.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was always pretty artistic. I gravitated more towards music and dance and that kind of stuff. I always wanted to learn how to make clothes, and I've always loved fashion. And before, when I was younger, it was, go to the mall and go buy a new outfit or, fast fashion kind of stuff. But then as I got older, I started discovering thrifting.
Yes.
And there's so many good thrift stores in Toronto. I would just go and just be inspired by the different eras of the clothing. And I think that's one of the things that inspires me a lot, is taking historical inspiration from different eras and trying to incorporate that. I really love the 80s aesthetic,
Yeah.
the colors, the colors and the designs and the styles. I'd say as just daily wear, I'm very 80s kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started just getting more interested in self-expression through clothing. And then I actually studied geography in university.
Okay.
Super random. Had nothing to do with any of this. And then after university, I was kind of what am I going to do now? And then I was okay, maybe I'll go teach English overseas somewhere. So then I got a teaching English certificate. And then I didn't end up doing that either.
Yeah.
So then I just moved out west because I'd visited here once before when I was a teenager, and I just fell in love with the landscape and just the whole vibe of Vancouver. I loved having the convenience of the city, but also so close in proximity to nature, and you have oceans and mountains.
And
it's just
beach,
it's everything. So I finally moved out to Vancouver. It'll be 9 years in May. And I started going to festivals, and that's where I started.
Basco Shambhala?
Yeah, my first festival is actually Pemberton Music Festival, which was extremely chaotic. And then that same summer I went to Shambhala, and I was just so inspired by people's outfits and just the culture. Before that, I'd never been to a festival. It was just this whole new world for me of self-expression and dancing and just joyful play.
And fantasy becoming a reality.
Yeah. And so I wanted to just create more custom outfits for myself. And so I started learning how to sew, and then
Self-taught.
pretty much like I
Yeah.
did a couple just beginner lessons with a sewing teacher when I was first starting out. And then, yeah, I didn't go to like school or formally train or anything. I'm pretty much self-taught, which has been hard. But yeah, it's been a really great journey. Basically just wanted to make costumes for myself, and now I make costumes for other people. And
Yes.
yeah, just trying to bring these visions in my head into reality.
Tell us where we are right now and how long have you been here?
Right now we're in my studio. It's located near Commercial Drive in East Vancouver. And I've been in this spot for, it'll be 5 years, like in June, I think. So it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't always look like this. Before, I only had like half of the space.
Yeah.
So it's nice because I got to expand, and I like renovated it and painted it pink. Yeah, it's been really great here. It's called Portal Studios, and we have about 15 resident artists now. There's a whole space downstairs where there's even more people doing more amazing things.
It's so fun in here. Like the moment that we walked in, you're just like, and even going downstairs and seeing some of the other studio spaces of the other artists, it's like just a candy for my eyes, you know?
Yeah.
Of different, like just pops of color and so much going on, and just loving all the details.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like a big signature of your work too, and how you choose to create and express yourself. I also know that, you know, you've been exploring like circus arts as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like what kinds of circus arts have you been exploring? And
So my primary focus is like multi-hooping. So got the hula hoops and I got them going all over my body. Yeah, I've been exploring different areas as well, like juggling, which is significantly harder.
Yeah.
There's a pretty steep learning curve on juggling. I've been trying for a few years now.
just on the two, like, you know, when you start with the two to just gain a rhythm,
Yeah.
every time I try to incorporate the third ball, I just like can't.
It's definitely like a journey, and you have to be like very committed to it, which is kind of hard for my ADHD brain because I'm like an instant gratification type learner where
You're like, if I don't get it now.
pretty much. So I can juggle 3 balls, learning on the club still, but we're getting there. I do fire spinning as well. So I have lots of different props that I fire spin with. That's more of like, I just do that for fun.
And burlesque?
Burlesque is kind of like, I'm not fully into that world yet.
Yeah.
I've done a couple kind of burlesque-y type acts, but it's definitely something I want to get into more, especially with, you know, the costuming, and I love like the acts that you can come up with for burlesque. Like I love the comedy and the stories that you can tell through it. So it's definitely something that's been on my radar, but hasn't fully formulated yet.
For anyone who doesn't know about, you know, the Vancouver circus community and our scene here, because that's actually one of the first scenes that I tapped into when I first moved back here. I did also a chapter in Toronto.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I did a life chapter there for like maybe 7 years. I did university out there. And then when I moved back here to Vancouver is actually when I met Nancy, because she was doing the head volunteer coordinating for Vancouver Circus Fest, I want to say it was called, like back then. And I was like her assistant volunteer coordinator or something like this. And so that's how we first met. And at that time, there was that space that was on 2nd Avenue. Do you remember that? And there were there was like a really cool crossover with the street dance community at that time. They were hosting actual like battles and events that mixed circus artists with street dance artists.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was a whole like era. And then
oh my gosh.
I think when that space closed down and the person who was running it and started the festival, oh gosh, I'm so sorry, I forgot her name, but Nancy can tell me later. Lola Loops, shout outs. Yeah, that's kind of where that era ended. But at that time, it was so cool to be introduced to a lot of what I knew as the circus community here. Yeah, I would love to hear from you. Like, what is the community like here?
Yeah, it's amazing. I love the circus community here. I mean, I was never part of the circus community in Toronto, so I don't have much to compare it to, but yeah, Nancy, I've been working with her a lot lately. We're working right now for Social Circus Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization that provides circus workshops and opportunities for youth based in Vancouver.
Cool.
Yeah.
And teaching them different circus arts?
Yeah, so right now we're hosting a weekly circus workshop in the Squamish Nation in like every Tuesday, working with the kids and the youth there. We got juggling, we have like tumbling, and sometimes even the big trampoline comes out. Yeah, so it's been really fun getting into the like more nonprofit side of circus.
Yeah.
And just trying to make circus more accessible to the community, which has like been a systemic problem in the past. Like circus has a lot of barriers around it, especially with like training and like expenses. So yeah, I'm like wanting to make it a more accessible experience for people.
So jumping back to you talking about, you know, some of your inspirations for your designs that you make, like other than the 80s, are there any artists or places you visited, or, you know, maybe shows or music that you draw inspiration from?
I think I draw a lot of inspiration from materials. So a lot, like all of these fabrics back here, these are all thrifted. And like I'll just go to like a thrift store or like a secondhand store and just like see what's there and kind of be inspired by like the different things that I find. I'm inspired a lot by nature, and
That's cool. I can also imagine that like when you pick up a fabric, it has its own story that you're like, I wonder what is this story, and that you're giving it a new life. I love that in your bio you were sharing that like sustainability is such a big focus for you. Can you share a bit more about that?
Yeah. So originally, before I became Changeling Creative, which is like what my company is called now, I was Sugar Troll Designs, which was focused on sustainable fashion. So it was less so costume making and more like creating clothes from upcycled materials or reworking thrifted clothing and stuff like that. So it's always been a really important part of my core values to try and keep my artistic practice as sustainable as possible. Just knowing, you know, the fast fashion industry and the impacts of just material consumption and material production, just trying to use upcycled materials wherever I can it's been a challenge, but it's also been really rewarding because like sometimes you can just create the most unique things with stuff that can't just be bought at a store.
Yes. I am so curious about what's behind. Can we get into our show and tell portion?
Yeah. So this is one of the headpieces I made for a character, one of my roving characters, the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Yes.
So it's all like candy and fun, tasty. Don't actually eat it though. Yeah, this one is like an ice princess headpiece that I made.
Look at the ears.
Yeah, it's got little masks on the side. This is actually one of like the very earlier pieces that I've made. So
what I love about is like when we were coming up into the studio, just over here, you have the different portraits of your different characters that you've created. Like, where does that come from?
So I was working for a while with a photographer, John Ashby, and he's super talented. And we were doing these like monthly photo shoot meetups where basically I just can decide any concept and design, and then we go and shoot, and he uses all his Photoshop magic and whatever to make literal like fairy tale dreamscapes.
Make the character come to life.
Yeah. So I have a lot of my like costuming is character based. So I like to like in my mind I'll like envision the character and their traits and you know all the different little things about them. Sometimes I even like to make a backstory for them, like a little fairy tale. So
what's your favorite one?
There's one called Princess Palm. So
oh my gosh, look at these.
And I don't have it
So
here right
good.
now, but I made an entire pom-pom jacket, which took forever. And so her backstory is kind of cute. It's kind of like Rapunzel-esque, where she's like stuck in a tower and then she has to like make all these pom-poms to basically like jump out of the tower and like land in the pom-poms, and it's like a pillow.
That is such a good backstory.
Yeah. So there's I take a lot of inspiration from like classic fairy tales, you know, like Grimm's Brothers and stuff like that, and
remixing
them. This is another piece. This is one of my earliest pieces. It's called Funeral for an Albatross.
Yeah.
And that one was actually about the plastic pollution in the oceans. So I saw a photo on the internet of, it was like a baby albatross skeleton.
Albatross is a bird?
They're like the biggest seabird. Like their wingspans can be like 6 feet wide.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, they're really like majestic animals, but I saw a photo on the internet of a dead baby albatross skeleton, and its stomach was all
full of plastic.
Yeah, full of plastic because it was getting fed by the parent because they didn't know that it wasn't food. So it's just like I was really inspired to just like recreate it, and then this is all plastic that I scavenged from Vancouver beaches. I like to make my work, you know, a little bit more political. Like I like to talk about social issues that are happening, like environmental issues or like social justice issues, and I like to use my work to be able to connect with people about this type of stuff.
Yes, which is where art is so important and so powerful. Well, I also love that you're doing a lot to express yourself in terms of your cultural heritage. It is this gorgeous piece. I would love for you to tell us all about it.
Yeah, so this piece is one of my favorite pieces that I've made so far. And it's made from upcycled Chinese silk. Like this was all a duvet cover before, believe it or not.
It's got the dragons,
yeah,
aka Year of the Dragon.
Yeah. And so what inspired me to make this was just that I've been trying to reconnect with my Chinese culture over these past few years. For those who don't know, I am multiracial. My dad is Chinese-Filipino and my mom is French-Canadian. And I've just been feeling like my whole life it was kind of like assimilate to North American culture. And like I always embraced my whiteness more than my Chinese identity. And I always felt, you know, kind of disconnected after moving from the Philippines and, you know, all of my Chinese families all the way across the world, and I'm just over here. And so I've always had this like feeling of disconnection within myself and a feeling of like incompleteness within my identity. And so one of the things that I've been trying to do for the past few years is to just heal that bridge and like accept myself in my duality. As a multiracial person, I'm like different and my experiences are different. And so I wanted to celebrate my Chinese heritage by creating a beautiful outfit that showcased traditional fabric styles, but also this piece is more than just about showcasing the style. It's about blooming into my wholeness in my identity. So Kai Feng, it means to bloom. And so I have an entire act that I've created with this piece. There's also another part of the outfit that is not shown here today, but in the finale of the act,
Yeah.
I bloom into my beautiful self.
Can we see it? Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. It's so cool.
Yeah, this is like a very special piece to me, and I'm hoping that I can showcase this act more in the future. There is like a spoken word component to my act where it's like an audio that I recorded with my friend, and it's about my kind of experiences as a multiracial person. And yeah, so it's like a whole experience. Yeah.
So when you say, is your dad half Filipino and half Chinese, or is he Chinese born in the Philippines and raised in the Philippines?
He's Chinese born in the Philippines. So he's actually like third generation Filipino, I think, because both his parents are Chinese but born in the Philippines. And then I think his grandparents are the ones who immigrated from China. So his family has been in the Philippines for quite a while.
Why did they immigrate to the Philippines?
He said it was because of just like the communism, like the government changeover, I think.
In China.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I actually did an interview with my dad in May just to like learn more about my family history and like my Chinese culture. And I actually learned that my ama, which is my grandma, who I never got to meet because she died before I was born, but she was actually a famous dressmaker in Manila.
Really?
And no one ever told me this before. That
oh my god!
my grandma, my ancestor, was doing what I was doing. Yeah, so I felt really, like, once I learned that, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I felt like a spiritual connection.
Have you explored much of, like, the Chinese, like, geographically speaking side of yourself?
I haven't been to China yet. That's definitely on the list.
Yeah. Do you know where your ancestors are from?
Yeah, my dad, when I interviewed my dad, he said that they're from the Fujian province, which is in like the southeastern like coastal area. So that's the reason why a lot of Fujian Chinese people immigrated to the Philippines, was because it was easy for them to sail there. So yeah, it would be cool to go back with my dad and like see if we can find any long lost relatives. And,
totally.
Yeah, just like immerse myself in that side of the culture. There's definitely like growing up, we did practice more so like when I was in the Philippines, we practiced like some different aspects of Chinese culture. Like my grandma, my ama, was like very devoted Buddhist. So they actually had their family house built like beside the Buddhist temple so that she could go pray. And some of like the memories that I have from my time in the Philippines is like going with my dad and my family to the temples and like meeting the monks, and they would always give these little white rabbit candies.
Oh my god, yes! I love white rabbit candies.
Yeah,
and they're like sometimes so hard that you have to like really just hold them in your mouth until they really soften, and then you can start to chew them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're breaking your teeth. I had a trip to the dentist.
Yeah. So it's like remembering those things, like just those little cute little memories, like are such happy like core memories for me, because I don't have a lot of memories of that culture and of my time there.
Yeah.
So like growing up, we would practice, we would celebrate for Chinese New Year's, and my dad taught me some like Buddhist traditions as well for like honoring your ancestors and your family. And so it would be nice to just get more into that and devote more time to it as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is so juicy. I know we're going everywhere, but I'm just like following the flow of the conversation. You know? How did Changeling emerge?
So before Changeling, I was just trying to think of like my stage name. I like never had like a full on stage name, and I was performing and I was like, I don't want to just be, I mean, like I am Chloe, but I want to like have a different stage name that represented me, because I'm such a shapeshifter. And then I started reading about Irish folklore and learning about changelings, which are like a type of fae creature in their folklore.
What
And
do
they're
you
like
mean, fae?
like they're in the fairy category,
okay.
but they're like shapeshifters, and like they kind of have a negative connotation with them. Like a lot of the folklore around changeling is that they like steal the place of people. Like they like a changeling could like turn into you and then like get rid of you and pretend to be you.
Got it.
But they're also known as being very like adaptable, and like they're not like malevolent at heart.
Yeah.
Like they kind of just want to like fit in with the humans. And that's how I always kind of felt. Like I want to fit in with the humans, but I always felt kind of outside the realm.
Yeah.
And like identity was like such an interesting topic for me, like growing up multiracial. Like I always felt like I had like different identities and like, you know, code switching for different situations and for different people. And so I always had this kind of like, you know, distorted sense of identity where I felt like I could kind of be whoever I wanted, but like I didn't know who the true person was underneath. So when I started learning about changelings, it resonated with me a lot because they are always shape-shifting into different people or different animals or different things. And with my costuming, I'm always shape-shifting. Like people won't even recognize me when I'm in costume because I'm like totally like just don't look like me at all.
Every time I'm like, what?
So I was like, well, that makes sense that I'm a changeling. And I just like, you know, the sound of it. Like it sounded kind of cool to me.
And we're sticking on brand with a CH.
Yeah, and Changeling and Chloe. So,
Chua.
yeah, so it just, when I heard about changelings, I was like, oh my God, that's it. So it's like, this is me. I'm a performer. I'm a costume designer. Like I am changeling, and this is the thing.
Is there a dream, I guess, thing that you want to design in the future?
Like right now, I'm working on like a big flower costume. So that's like, I haven't actually started yet, but in my brain,
it starts in the brain.
It's formulating. Yeah. And so it's gonna just be like very like I'm picturing like kind of midsummer vibes, like, you know, how she has like that huge like flower dress. So yeah, I'm just working towards spring basically. I'm very influenced by like the seasons. Yeah, just like flowers everywhere, and just like imagine a huge stilt person like covered in flowers. Like,
oh my gosh, I love it. And any artists in Vancouver that you feel right now you're super inspired by and you're stoked on that's within our community?
Yeah, so like in terms of circus, I'm really inspired by Nancy and her soaring stilt dance. I think their crew and their dance moves are really amazing. And in terms of like a style and like textiles, me and my partner Jessie have been working together to create some really cool things. And it's really great because I actually taught him how to sew. He's kind of like my protege, but I'm always really inspired by the things he's creating. He's really creating these really cool, like patchwork, everything. Basically, he gets like all my scraps and just like makes really cool things out of it.
I love that. Leave no scrap behind.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. And my other partner, Shane, he makes really amazing glass art. I should have worn my chain, but he makes these like really cool glass chains. Should have worn one today, but yeah, so lots of inspiration just in our studio alone. Like there's so many cool artists here, and we're really excited to be in the scene. And in this building alone too, there's like the Haifa arts as well, and the deli. So this whole space is just like filled with creativity, and it's nice to like be a part of it. And Yeah.
Aw, Chloe, I'm so stoked we got to do this. In lieu of Lunar New Year 2025, Year of the Snake, I'm so curious to, end this interview with you just sharing maybe what is it that you feel you are shedding this year and stepping into and, want to manifest for yourself for 2025, Year of the Snake.
Year of the Snake.
Yeah.
So I actually just got a snake like a few months ago.
Like a pet snake?
So I have a new pet snake.
Named?
Snacky McSnack Snake.
Stop! A snacky McSnack snake. Say that 7 times.
So I've been feeling a lot of that like transformative, like serpent energy just accumulating. And I definitely feel like I've been in the process of shedding a lot of just like negative thought patterns, and I'm kind of like realigning my community and my focus and really diving deep into like my personal values and the like what's important to me and what I want to see in the world.
Oh yeah.
And so like my hope for this year is for more collective liberation and justice for people that have been not treated very well. And I want to harness the energy of the collective to try and build something better, something more artistic, something more inclusive.
Yes.
And
equitable.
Equitable. And that is my hope. And yeah.
Oh, love. I appreciate you so much, Chloe. This has been so great. Shout outs to everyone who's tuned in, who's been watching the live stream, who's watching the replay. We appreciate you. My name is Kazi. This is Chloe Chua, aka Changeling. And you've been watching Van City Beats, Eats, and More.